こんにちは。今日はいよいよテフォン最後のレッスンです。Do you know how to say I know or I live in Tokyo or I used to live in Tokyo in Japanese? If not, don't worry. Join me today and let's learn together. In today's lesson, we'll see how the ています form shows a resulting state, the result of a change.Once you learn this, you'll be able to say all of those perfectly. So, follow along with me. Let's go! In the last episode, we learned that the ています form can show ongoing and habitual actions. But remember how I said there's one more use? And that's what we'll learn today. Today's focus is how to describe the resulting state of a change using the same ています form. This usage shows a change from one state to another, something that happened once, like getting married, but the effect of that event continues even now. And here are some examples of verbs that shows a change of state. 結婚しています I'm married, not I'm getting married. The action is finished, but the state continues. 起きています I'm awake, not I'm getting up. You woke up earlier and since then you are awake. 死んでいます is dead. The verb to die is a good example of happens only once. It's an one-time event that changes the subject's state. It shows the result. The mouse has died and is now dead.Not dying. 住んでいます I live in Tokyo. 東京に住んでいます It means you moved there before and still live there now. It shows the result of moving, not the act of moving. So these verbs describe one-time change. So when used with ています they show a resulting state, not an action in progress.Let's compare. On the left, we have verbs for action in progress, like 食べています、飲んでいます。These describe actions that continue for some time, things you can see happening right now, or repeated habits. On the right, we have verbs that shows a change of state. 結婚する、起きる、死ぬ、住む。These verbs are usually instantaneous. Unlike action verbs that last for a while, these verbs describe one-time events that change the subject's condition, and the result of that change still continues. Let's look at the sentence structure. It follows the same pattern we use for ongoing actions.But here we use a change of state verb. Simply take the て form of the verb and add います. The verb part shows what changed and います means the result still continues now. For example, 東京に住んでいます They started living in Tokyo and they still live there now.You can also use ていました the past tense of ています to show that a state used to be true, but is no longer true now. For example, 東京に住んでいました means I used to live in Tokyo. In the past, you were in the state of living there, but the state has since changed. So remember, ています I live in Tokyo now.And ていました I used to live in Tokyo. Let's make some sentences using verbs that show a change of state. How do you say I live in Japan? 日本に住んでいます The verb 住む to live becomes 住んでいます showing your current state of living there. Now, how about I know Mr. Tanaka? That's 田中さんを知っています。The verb 知っています comes from 知る which means to come to know. So 田中さんを知っています means I know Mr. Tanaka. You came to know him before and the knowledge still continues now. Next, I have a car. そうです。車を持っています。持っています comes from 持つ to have. For example, you bought it before and now you're in the state of owning it. All of these verbs describe a change that already happened, and ています tells us that the result of that change still remains. How about these? 太っています and 痩せています。Both describe a resulting state, a change that already happened and continues now. 太る means I'm chubby or I've gained weight. 痩せる means to become thin. So 痩せています means I'm thin. It shows a current condition after that change. We can also use this for objects. ドアが開いています。The door is open. 電気が消えています。The light is off. The verb 行きます to go also belongs to the resulting state group, just like 知っています。行っています doesn't mean is going right now. It shows the result. The person has gone and is now there. For example, 田中さんは中国に行っています。This means 田中さん has gone to China, suggesting that he's China now, probably on a business trip. In the previous lesson, I asked you to compare two examples. 鈴木さんはいつもセーターを着ています。And 鈴木さんは今セーターを着ています。With the word いつも always, the first sentence shows Suzuki-san's habitual action. It means Suzuki-san always wears sweaters. The second sentence shows an ongoing action, like, wait a minute, I'm putting on a sweater right now. Now let's add one more sentence and then place all three sentences together in a chart to see the difference clearly. Look at the third one. 鈴木さんはセーターを着ています。There are no time words like always or now, so this one expresses a resulting state. It means Suzuki-san is wearing a sweater. In other words, the action of putting it on is already done, and we're describing the current condition that resulted from that action. This resulting state meaning is the most natural in daily Japanese when we describe someone's appearance or condition. Let me show you more examples of resulting states in daily life. I'm wearing glasses. メガネをかけています。The action of putting them on is finished and now you're in the state of wearing them. I'm wearing a hat. 帽子をかぶっています。Again, the action happened before and the state continues now. How about sitting? 座っています。You already sat down and now you remain seated. All of these use ています to describe a current condition that resulted from a completed action. In today's lesson, we learned that ています form is not only used for ongoing or repeated actions, but also for describing the result of a change, a state that continues. With verbs like 結婚する, 座る, or 行く, the action itself happens in a moment, but when we use them in the ています form, they describe the state that remains after that change. With this episode, you've now covered all the major te form usage that appear in beginner level Japanese. So congratulations! And thank you for studying with me. また来てくださいね。待ってますよ。